represent the new generation of mixed martial arts. I'm the best fighter in the world.
Get out of the way or you get dropped.
Topuria, still undefeated.
He is so skillful and so devastating.
Topuria grounds Volkanovski.
This kid is a finisher.
Oh! The first man to knock out Max Holloway. Think about what might be next.
Yeah, you know why I'm here.
Now it's time to become a lightweight world champion. I want to hold that belt too.
This is my year. But if there is anyone that can give Topuria problems, it is one of the greatest of all time, Charles Oliveira.
His name is plastered across the UFC record books. Most submissions and finishes in UFC history.
Charles Oliveira is a monster on the ground or on his feet.
Who can stop Charles Oliveira?
I feel so powerful at 155. I'm gonna touch his chin and it will explode.
Topuria!
One of the best fighters alive.
Got the heart of a beast and I'm still undefeated, so tell me who wanted me.
Charles Oliveira!
An absolute assassin.
I don't think they get the man, just run to the edge, cause they get reckless. These two together is guaranteed fireworks. Man, they can get violent. Only the strongest survive.
Alexandre Pantoja!
One of the most dominant champions in the sport.
I'm the champion right here.
Kai France to blink.
Just puts people's lights out.
I'm going for the kill shots.
International Fight Week, it's always big.
UFC 317 beckons later this month. Tonight's fighter stats are brought to you by Regenerate RX, the official performance telehealth partner of UFC. You see the prolific, significant strike rate per minute for Ilia Topuria as he gets ready to move up to the lightweight division to take on the most decorated finisher in UFC history, and this division's former champ, Joe, Charles "Du Bronx" Oliveira.
This is a really excellent fight for the vacant lightweight title, and a huge challenge for Ilia Topuria to move up from 145 to face a big, strong, powerful Charles Oliveira, who has incredible submission ability, one-punch knockout power. Charles Oliveira has fought the cream of the crop at lightweight, and at one point in time was the champion and one of the most elite in the sport's history. This is a real challenge, but Ilia Topuria believes this is division that he was destined to reign. Brutal knockout power, excellent wrestling and submissions himself. This should be incredible. And then Alexandre Pantoja is one of the finest mixed martial arts fighters on planet Earth, and he will have a challenge to his title against the excellent Kai France. Kai France, who has vicious knockout power himself. He's relentless, he's highly aggressive, but Alexandre Pantoja, he's one of the greats, and Kai France, that's what he wants. He wants to face one of the greats and get his shot at the gold, and he will have that chance at the end of June, and I cannot wait.
Joe, those are two massive title fights that headline International Fight Week, but that's not it. Paulo Costa takes on Roman Kopylov. Beneil Dariush fights Manny Moicano, and Jonathan Janice fights Justin Tafa. Every single year, International Fight Week delivers, and there is no doubt that this fight card is going to be absolute fireworks. I cannot wait to get back to Las Vegas. It's going to be hot, though.
It is going to be hot, but that's okay. Ilia Topuria getting the red corner as well as he moves up to take on the former king, Charles Oliveira. Well, speaking of Las Vegas and T-Mobile Arena, it is our pleasure to announce at this time the home of the UFC will also open its doors 3 months later to play host to UFC 320. That is October 4th. Specific fights and details will follow in the coming weeks, but UFC 320, October 4th, lock it in, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Then 2 weeks later, the Octagon is headed back to Vancouver, British Columbia to host the UFC Fight Night October 18th. Second trip already to Canada this year for the combat sports leader, and the first jaunt back to Vancouver since UFC 89 back in June of 2023. It's always loud, it's always eventful when the UFC hits the Great White North. All right, now real fans enjoying the fight with Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of UFC. Show us your UFC watch party crew with hashtag Bud Light UFC crew and hashtag sweepstakes for a chance to see your crew shown here during UFC 317, along with a pay-per-view code and beer money. All right, next matchup, as many of you know, was initially booked for a fight night in Mexico City in March.